I'm Tash.
And I'm Larni.
And we're My Two Wives. Okay, so today we wanted to chat about why we broke the cardinal rule of doing business with friends and family. Because obviously, Larni and I are friends.
Yep.
Well, we have a business and we're friends. And that is, in the world of business, a big no-no. And we did risk it for the biscuit.
100% we did.
And we went into a business together. We have a hospitality business together that we run. It is a
4
very,
years in, 3 years in.
3.5 years in. It's a very, we would classify this as a medium-sized business. We have about 7 staff, and we are quite a busy, high turnover business.
Yeah, and we're making it work. Like we've come with a few issues, obviously, like we know how to iron it out with each other. And I think that comes with also because business, like our relationship between us comes first. So that's our first thing. That's how we make it work. So
we make it work because we have a set of guidelines of things that are of a priority. So the business is obviously a priority, but in terms of the friendship, because Larni and I are actually very good at separating the two, because there is the business Tash and Larni together, and then we can go switch mode and it's friendship Tash and Larni mode together. And we keep that working because we have that integrity of where things need to lie. We both understand what things need to be at any given moment. When it's business time, it's business time. When it's friends time, it's friends time. And we obviously...
Because we've also known people in the past that have started that business and that went...
kaput.
Yeah,
it
went
didn't
kaput.
work out.
Yes, and also because I remember this is someone we know, spoke to you about it and said, you know, they started clashing and they also lost their friendship when they lost that business.
That's right, and that's a very easy thing to have happen.
Yeah,
because no two people run a business the same, and it's nearly like a marriage in some sense, because you need to hold the same values within that business to have it run in how you want it in your mind, each person running it, and how it runs, you know, to get it run smoothly.
And also we've taken steps mainly because you made sure we did.
Yeah.
Because that's like your personality, which is you've laid down sort of certain foundations that if it doesn't work, we have
an exit strategy.
Yeah, an exit strategy.
Yeah. So we have that in place.
Yeah.
So at any time Larni and I want to close it down or walk away and we say, hey, look, this isn't for us for whatever reason.
Because it's reality, right? Because businesses don't always work. So if it doesn't work, we're like, oh yeah, but if it doesn't work, we can also leave this as is and walk away. Yeah. But we'll still have us.
We'll still have us.
Which I think people also will jump into a business and think, oh, it's definitely going to work. That's fine to have that thought that that's how you want it to be, because we have that anyway. We expect it. But it's always good to have insurance.
Yeah.
Do you have like a car without paying insurance? Do you, you know...
You got to have those
100%.
Really
back up.
We have those conversations that are really hard conversations to have.
Yeah.
Like we have ones where, hey, is your partner going to impact my business or is, you know, just
even if I don't expect her partner Michael to like be like that at all. However,
but we have those
the
conversations.
reality is, just about what humans can be like in general. Just behavior.
The human nature.
Everything could be. Yeah. We're always going to think that there's a possible worst case scenario because that's life.
That is so life.
So, and because we're on the same path as each other. Yeah, and page. Yeah. That we've always taken that in, even though like by far it's not going to happen. Even with our kids, like and I think incorporating that into our business is how we make it work. Yeah. And to like do other businesses. Yeah. By doing the same thing, it's also going to make that work. Yeah. And people are too scared to be honest with themselves.
And each other. Yeah. If they go into it.
And each other to be like, oh no, but this would never happen. No. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen out of the woodworks. Yeah. Especially when you go in and like we've opened a company, we're not a partnership. So, but it's the same as a partnership technically speaking, because we have to treat each other as directors. Yep. As
as directors, and also taking that risk factor in putting obviously our time and our money into a business. But the fact is it could go kaput and everything could go to shit, and we got to be careful of that.
Yeah, we have to be really
and
careful.
We make that work.
We do make that work.
Even with like, I felt like certain events that might happen at work where Tash's personality handles something different. I handle it another way because we also know each other to the depths where I understand her and she understands me. We also, I don't know, I think we make that allowable as well.
I really need to emphasize what you've just said there, where you've mentioned how we know each other to the depths. And that is another key component to why we have done it and why it's working for us, because we know each other inside and out.
Like a marriage. Essentially like a marriage. So you have those partnerships and marriages where, you know, a husband and wife or wife and wife or husband and husband, they're so successful because they know each other so well. Whereas if you're going to risk it with just like, oh, you know, just a friend or just an acquaintance or someone who can combine because we have the money to do it, it's such a higher risk. Whereas because we know each other to the depths, like a marriage, like the ones that are very successful and they do it, it makes it easier because I understand certain behaviors that she might do that I might disagree with that I don't get offended with.
Yeah, we also,
and it's taking offense or taking it personally, whereas I'm like, no, that's how she might operate or that's how I operate with certain things, and she knows that as well about me. That's not because we do it without offense or getting like, I don't know, ruining something because of that or our ego. It works.
People have asked us, do you guys fight? And the answer to that is like, yeah, we've had disagreements. In fact, before we ever got so far as to own a business together, we did have a huge blowing up at one point back probably over 10 years ago now.
It was 10 years ago. And that was also, we were still growing into the people we are today.
Yeah.
Like what we were in our early 20s, I was doing stuff that totally, and the fact is you still allowed it of me, by the way, which is I was associating with like hardcore drugs, and you know, I had a different group, and Tash, you know, she was focused on her family unit and, you know, her growth and, you know, financial stability with a soon-to-be husband back then. We were just different people on different paths.
Yeah, totally different. But the friendship was still so solid.
Yeah.
So although Larni and I lived kind of in two different worlds, the friendship was still so good. It was still a solid friendship. But you could just see that our priorities at the given time were just, we were going down this different path. But it didn't mean I lost love for her. And I still really accepted you for all that you were doing and that the things you wanted to experiment with and all that sort of stuff. But we did end up going down a different path.
Separating for a couple of years and then coming back.
We did. We didn't talk for 2 whole years. And I always knew, though, in those 2 years, I always knew we'd be friends again. Always.
I had bad dreams and thought like we'd never be friends again. I was broken.
Yeah. There were other friends that we were doing all the same things that I knew I'd never talk to again. But we always had such a special bond growing up. Oh, people didn't know us one without the other, which we said in our previous podcast. And I guess I knew that we needed to grow. We needed to just mature, get out of our system what we were going through, and that we would come back to each other.
And then when we reconnected, we were at a different point in our lives where we were more on the same page as each other.
Yeah.
So
another layer again. Yeah. And we could really be honest with each other, and I was like, hey,
actually, you know what? I feel like when we came back, we were even more so honest.
Oh, so honest.
It was like, I was mad at you because of this, and like, you know, the reason why I handled it this way. And then we also worked out how to work on that with each other without it affecting us and having to just walk away and give up on the relationship as a whole.
Yeah. Because we operate really, truly deeply more like a marriage than an actual friendship. 100%. Because we're just not letting go. It's not what we're going to do, because we really are. The integrity levels with both of us are at an all-time high. You hear Warren Buffett say it, that he just doesn't do business with people with the lack of integrity. And you just won't find, it's hard to find integrity, and sometimes you're only going to see it in people over a period of time, because you will see how they react in all situations, but you need time to give you those situations. And so I've seen you.
Time and experience. Yeah. 100%. No, I know exactly what you mean by that. And it means, you know, how I handle certain situations. If people have done certain things to me, how I actually handle it, and how you've always stood staunch with your faith and your belief in certain things. And you executed it as well.
Yeah, same as you. It's really no different.
So people really need to focus on, if you're considering starting businesses with people,
know them well.
Yeah.
You really don't know someone until the bad shit happens.
Yeah. And it's okay to also be like, oh, so before you actually step into it, think if shit goes to shit, how would they handle it? And be honest with yourself and them with how that you would expect them to handle it.
Because if you're with someone that holds things in quietly or doesn't tell you everything they need to, what happens with people is they build up resentment and that resentment festers and it grows and it doesn't actually go away. And then all of a sudden you're coming at heads and you're blowing up.
People have broken down marriages.
Same thing.
Like
same thing.
Like women and men, how nasty they can turn at the end when they're supposed to have loved someone genuinely. Because in my head as well, my thing is when I love you, I'm loving all of you and the relationship and what we have. Just because it hasn't worked doesn't mean I have to get spiteful and nasty. So that's something that you have to always remember going into business with someone.
100.
What are they like at the end of any of their past relationships?
Yes.
And how spiteful or...
You can hear it how they talk about
100%.
them too. You can hear if they're salty. So we broke up for 2 years
Yes.
and neither of us actually ever were nasty, salty, bitchy. Never.
And you know what? And it's not that I thought you would. It's just if you were to turn around and to, you know, badmouth on me or just say that bad things about me, I'd be like, well, that's normal. That's usually what people do in relationships.
That is normal. Yeah.
But nothing ever came back. And I was like, no, you know what? Even though we're not together, you didn't hate me afterwards.
No.
Because you still appreciated the love and the relationship
So I still loved you. We were just having a 2-year moment. And 2 years is a long moment. But we were just having that. And I knew in my heart that we'd be friends again because we were too close and we had too much in common and we had been through too much, not for it to eventually get back on its feet. We just needed to go that way. And like I said, there were other friends who I knew I'm never talking to you again. Like, for example, we had that one friend who was having an affair with a guy. She was the other girl and she was in the backseat of the car and she was saying things like, oh, that's stupid about this other... About the actual woman saying that stupid bitch, she doesn't even know I exist, ha ha ha, what a bloody idiot.
Which really showed her integrity.
And I remember sitting in the car
I remember you
being like, oh my God, you're horrid, you're disgusting. And
someone
I was mortified.
who you wouldn't go into business with.
I would never.
Because you need to also align with someone else when it comes to money, when it comes to that risk factor that you're going to invest time and wealth into something you're going to do. And, you know, how are they going to handle it if it doesn't work out? Because how many businesses, when they start, actually work out to not? It's like
50%.
Yeah.
50% of businesses fail.
So that's going to be a loss, right?
And then within 5 years, there's another like 50% on top of that.
And that's just normal. That's not even by...
That's got nothing to do with even the relationship.
No,
that's just
all.
the fact that the business itself isn't working for whatever reason.
They either work or they don't.
Yeah.
And that's what you also need to take into consideration is that if we're going to sync, is this going to be someone who I want to sync with? You know?
And am I going to put that person still on top of the money and still that relationship still over the money? Because some people don't know really how to do that. And for us, it's just a conversation we've already had.
Yeah.
We already know.
Very important. Yeah. Have your conversations with your...
Early.
Yeah, with future business people. That you might go in with because it's something that makes a big difference. Because you don't want to regret it either. Because remember how we talked about this as well when we were like, oh, if we go into it, worst case is that we're just going to experience it. Remember that? Like we actually had this conversation 3 years ago. And it was... well, you know what? Let's do it. And if it doesn't work, at least we've got a lesson. Like lessons through it.
Lessons are good too. Yeah.
And, you know, learning how to open it and learning the procedures and at least we've got something from it, which is the experience.
Yeah.
And that outweighs the amount of money that we're going to invest into it.
Yeah, 100%. Because we'd never done it before on the scale we ended up at. And we, you know, not that we're, you know,
look,
big
a business is a business and we're still running, which makes it, to me as well, I'm not sure about you, but to me it makes it successful because it's still operating. Yeah. So that in itself, I'm so happy about, and it was worth the experience and worth the money. Yeah. And
like if it closed down tomorrow, I'd be like, yep, that was awesome.
That was still worth it.
That was so worth it. Yeah. I think people get scared more than, I mean, it's worth it for us, but I think people get scared of losing money and time. Like they cling to it. Whereas I feel like you and I are very free flowing like that, where we know that, we know that we want the experience. We know that that's actually a win in itself too. I think a lot of people think the experience isn't a win.
Yeah, it isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Which is
sometimes
should be a part of the risk factor is if it doesn't work, what are you taking from it?
Yeah, exactly.
And we knew that.
Oh, we did know that.
We still know that with everything we're doing, i.e. the podcast, but this is
our fun thing to do.
This is a part of our journey as well. And we know that as well. So that's why we invest time and money and
effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Your
our
brain
honesty.
power.
Trying to keep it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our advice is if you're going to do anything, just look into everything that could happen and think about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Don't let it scare you, but.
What did Dad always say? Do it once, do it properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my dad, his favorite saying was do it once, do it properly. And I know sometimes when you go in to do things with friends and family that there is always a risk that even if you do know them really, really well, that maybe things could still pop out of the woodworks that you just can't see. That's just another risk you take on because business is one just big risk. But yeah, look, my advice personally is still I wouldn't recommend it. Like,
wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. No, for me, you might be different, but I still would tell.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it if you're doing it with the wrong people.
Yeah, but if you don't know that still, I would stay. Even if, I still wouldn't recommend it because, I mean, it's taken us over 20 years to know each other this well.
100%
so unless you got 20 years worth of someone that you've been very close with, because most friends and even
and you've
family.
seen how they handle themselves at the end of like a breakdown or a break.
Yeah.
Break up even, you know, how
siblings
they handle
when parents
afterwards.
die.
Yeah.
You know, the way they handle inheritance.
Yeah.
Because after
a number
working,
of things.
Yeah. And
anything to do with money can be very dangerous.
Very dangerous. And so that's why I would personally say still probably no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's me personally. So if you're asking for what I would recommend, it's definitely still that.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
Well, it's good to know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's our 2 cents on why we broke the cardinal rule of doing friends with family. We have a lot of people who ask us this question.
Yes, they actually do. And they're like, how do you guys make it work? And that's because I really know my wifey.
Yeah.
So, and I know how she'll handle stuff if it goes to shit.
Yeah.
And also what comes first and foremost, which is us and our relationship because we care about that. And the money's the bonus. The lesson's the second and the third is, you know.
Yeah.
Our relationship triumphs.
We could go a little bit further into why we put ourselves as the priority. And I will say it's because we know that one day we will take our last breath and that one day this will all be over. And the only thing left might be this video image of us talking this shit. But really, the journey till we get to that last breath and the love of the life that we have with the people we love the most, especially after the amount of loss we've been through, we know that all that money just couldn't buy it.
No,
and
I know. 100%.
It just can't buy it.
It's the bonus. This itself and the experiences and the memories we're going to make and are making is worth it tenfold. So.
Oh, you're getting me emotional, wifey.
Yeah, I know. One of those ones.
One of those ones. Nah, I'm not ready to cry on this camera.
No, we will, but we'll get to it. Yeah. And we'll do that on our next couple of ones when we talk about grief as well within our growth and within life.
Yeah, and we'll say a little prayer for you as we leave. We hope that you succeed and win in any business venture that you decide to go on, whether it's by yourself or with friends and family.
Yep.
So God bless you.
Yep. God bless and take care.
See you at the next one.
See ya.
Bye.